Welcome back to WRPL. It's the podcast where we talk about all the things we were watching, reading, playing, and listening to. My name is Ben.
And I'm Steve.
Welcome back, Steve. I know we had a hiatus,
I
but
know everyone missed us, but we're back and we're as we were then.
normal as ever.
Not better than ever, but just more the
Yeah,
same.
last episode we said we would talk about Obsession today, but Steve couldn't see it because it was sold out.
I
That's
went two
crazy.
different times to go see it, and it was sold out. Now, I could have gotten like a single seat, like in between like a bunch of people I'm
Sure.
sure I don't want to be next to. So I was just like, I'm not going to be squished in this packed theater.
hmm
It's a horror movie on opening weekend. There's a good chance it's going to be filled with horrible people. I don't want to be there.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk about it. We're going to try to save it for next week. If Steve can work it in,
I
we'll
got
see.
you.
We'll see. But next week is the back rooms, and I think that's gonna take precedent just because it's the newest thing, and you
Sure,
got to
sure.
stay up on all the new stuff. But if you could only see one, I'd say fuck it. Just do Obsession, so we could yeah. The only other things out besides Backrooms is Pressure, that World War II.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
what's his name? Brendan Fraser is like the president, and they're like, "Is the
Hmm.
weather going to be good for the storming of the beach?" And yeah,
Right, 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 right,
yeah,
right.
not super interested in that.
No, not particularly.
And then the Breadwinner.
I didn't know what that was. I saw because I saw the movie that we're going to talk about today, and that was a trailer attached to it. I was like, "Ooh, that looks bad."
Yeah, like okay, we did this movie. It was called Mr. Mom way back in the day when it was the idea of a man stays home and the woman works. That's insane. But now that is such an outdated concept. Like, what if your husband was an absolute idiot? It's like I don't know how this movie got made. And then the last one is Tuner, where like the dude has very great hearing because of like his
Mm.
implants, and he's a piano tuner, and like he can identify notes no matter how many you're combining. And then some safe crackers are like, ooh, with that good hearing, you could crack this
Oh
safe. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So nothing is really as important as the back room, so that will probably be our topic next week.
Yeah, I'll do my best to make it a horror double feature next week where we can talk about both.
But today we're going to talk about The Boys season 5 and Mandalorian versus Grogu and a whole bunch of other stuff. Um,
All from
all
Ben.
from me. I have things to talk about. I'll go quick with a lot of them because they're not as fun unless you're talking with someone who
Sure.
knows what's going
Of
on.
course. I
But
apologize to listeners. I took a vacation. I
you had
needed.
an unnecessary road trip to drink at a bar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been around other places. I've not been able to get to the theater or watch TV or play a game. I've done a little bit of reading. I'm almost done my book, but that'll be for next week. So as much fun as I had, it wasn't as fun as watching movies and TV and playing video games.
So let's start with a roll. We don't have physical die because, he was on a trip and
I
Steve
packed
goes
them all.
nowhere without his die.
All right, so I'm gonna make the dice sound.
Okay.
Die sound? Well, I can't believe I didn't. I can't believe I didn't do that. All right, ready?
You want to try that one?
13.
Okay, all right. And then here I go. Ooh, I'm shaking him up. I'm shaking him up, and I let it roll.
9.
Okay, fine, whatever. Before we get started, I'm sure there's some trailers out, but I hadn't kept track of any trailers. If I saw,
Yeah, I don't think anything jumped out at me this past week of, oh, I haven't seen that, and that looks cool.
yeah,
It's all just like uh, second trailers of
mm-hmm.
stuff that, like, the new Lanterns trailer was a little bit more
Sure, yeah,
interesting than the
yeah.
last one, but
But the only thing I saw new before a movie was, did you see the new roller coaster at Regal?
I have not.
Oh, they didn't have it for you? Because
No, and I was there
to
on time.
so our regular theater, I saw most of the things I'm going to talk about there, and I didn't see it. But I went to our northern theater to see something that was only playing there, and they have a new roller coaster, and I thought, ooh, why did they put this old roller coaster footage on? Because it doesn't look great.
Mm.
You actually now, it's a roller coaster where you hang from the track, so the track's above you, and you're swinging through space, and there's like space stations. It's not great. It looks kind of cheap. It doesn't look like they advanced the effects at all, but yeah,
And it had no tie-in to the Mandalorian, and there wasn't
no,
like Star Wars stuff.
nope.
Interesting.
Not at
Hmm.
all. It was just the same, like, hey, Pepsi, Raisinets, Nerds Rope, or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, kind of ugly, kind of bad. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's poopy.
I will check it out and be disappointed. I am
Yeah.
sure.
So, all right, let me stretch my vocal cords. I got a lot to talk about. I guess I'll start with something dog shit. That movie I went up north to see is called Corporate Retreat. It's a horror movie about a company on a corporate retreat, and then they have to like kill each other. At least that's what I thought it was going to be.
Mm.
There was always a 30-second trailer on before other movies that I had seen, and I was like, oh, we're never going to get that. But it came, and I thought, fuck it. I got nothing to do. I'll go see it. It's bad. It's
Mm.
so bad. So, pretty much a company of hot young people. They booted out their CEO, the person who built the company, and he was able to manipulate them to go to this remote house. I say remote, but it's just kind of like on a mountain. You could see the neighborhood around them. It's not
Mm.
that remote. And he's gonna like put them through some tests to do these like 7 chakras or something to open up their mind and ascend to the next level. It's all like hippy dippy stuff.
Mm.
But he's also doing these really fucked up things to them. But the things that he's having them do are like kind of wildly different.
Mm.
So like the first one is they drink this juice and then they're told, oh, there's botulism in that and you're all going to die, but we've given you all the tools to create a cure. So you got like an hour before you're all dead. Like, well, it's a good thing they have a goddamn scientist with them. Most of it's like a tech company, and it
Yeah.
just so happens one of them, and maybe he knew, but they're able to, make a cure with this big like comical syringe, and they're just kind of like stabbing it in everyone's arm. It's really, really silly.
So, but is it kind of like each challenge will test a new skill? Like this
Yes.
one is teamwork. The next one
No.
is leadership.
No.
The next one is
All of them, it's like this is level 1, and this is the base of the spine, and this is the stomach, and this is the throat, and this is the third eye. But they don't really have anything to do
with
I mean,
business.
with business at all, for sure. A little bit with the torturous things that he's doing, and so like everybody gets saved. One guy gets shot. He has like 2 crony women who are gonna shoot you if you don't do it. Second thing is pick someone to die and cut their heart out and put it in this jar. Well, lucky for them, one of the guys, like, they didn't think the botulism thing worked, so he was practically dying anyways. So as he woke up, they just slit his throat anyways, took his heart out. Then the third one is laugh convincingly.
Wait, so challenge number 2 was to cut out a heart?
Cut out a heart. Yep.
That escalated very fast.
Yeah. And it's like, what if they didn't figure out the solution to the botulism? They all would have just died, and then you don't get to do your like 7 steps of whatever. Ridiculous. That needs to come a little bit later, or it give at least it like have it. The time frame is going to be you'll die by the end of this.
Sure.
Not die before the next challenge.
Yeah.
But the third one is laugh convincingly. And if you don't laugh convincingly, you just get your head cut off. One of the ladies has a sword.
Do you get like multiple attempts or just one
Nope,
and done?
just one and done. Yep.
Oh.
And then
I mean, I have seen interviews with actors who talk about like laughing on cue is like one of the hardest things for them to do.
yeah.
Like it's easy to be scared or dramatic or whatever, but like to laugh convincingly on cue is super hard.
And I thought that's what would happen is like all of them are convincing enough that it was like the 2 girls and the main dude are vote. Some say yay, some say nay. But you get to the last girl and she just kind of refuses to do it. She's like, I'm too nervous. I can't. Oh, sorry, time's up. Cut her head off. Not even one of like, we're going to vote 3 nays. You weren't convincing. Anywho. And then they have to, what was the next step? Hold on. I think it jumps to, there may have been another one, but it was scoop your eye out with a spoon. And so there's 5 of them, or 6 of them, and 5 of them do it. And they linger on this shit. Like, you're seeing them in there digging, pulling it out. It's dangling. Oh, you gotta remove it. They're pulling on it and snap it off. Like, it is excessive with the amount of gore. And I like gore, but sometimes you need, like, a big, shocking thing, and then you cut away. But it was, okay, now you do your eye. Okay, now you do your eye. And you do your... And everybody got a chance. And it was just too much. I was squirming the whole time. And then the last one is even worse. Like, I guess they found a little voodoo doll of the guy that they ousted. He's like, that wasn't very nice. You put 7 pins in this voodoo doll. Now you're going to have to put 7 stakes in your body. 2 in your thighs, 1 in your gut, 2 in your shoulders, and 2 in your ears. And it's like,
at this point, why live?
Yeah. So one guy does it, and he just, like, bleeds out and dies. The other guy gets killed. He just refuses to do it, gets shot. And then there's a shootout at the end, and one person's shot. It was, like, so poorly written. It felt like not even a first draft, like a concept pitch. Like, here's 1 page of what we want to do, and we'll just figure out the dialogue on the day. It was kind of embarrassing. But funny story, as I'm going into the theater, I sit down, and there's an old couple next to me, and no one else. And they're like, oh, well, we thought we'd be the only ones in here. I'm like, no, I think there was multiple tickets bought when I got it. I'm like, oh, well, do you know anyone here? Or do you know anyone in here? I was like, no, I came by myself. Like, no. Do you know anybody in the movie? I'm like, no. She's like, well, I do.
Okay.
This woman is my cousin. And I was like, oh, is she like a bit part? Does she have a major role? And like, oh no, she's like one of the main people. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, what's her name? And her name is Kirby Johnson. She looks familiar, but I haven't seen her in anything. Like, I think the biggest thing is like the possession of Hannah Grace. She plays Hannah Grace. She kind of looks like Wednesday's roommate from the TV show.
Yeah, I don't like
and it's like, this woman is maybe 30 at the oldest, and this lady is like pushing 70. So that's like, yeah, you're probably cousins 3 times removed or whatever. But she was the one that she couldn't do the laugh, so she got her head cut off. But she was probably the best actress in the whole thing. Everybody was pretty bad, but I just found that kind of weird. She's like, oh yeah, she's from the area, but on her IMDb it says like she's from an island by Florida. So I don't know if this lady is just like very, very much removed or what. But it's like, that was kind of a weird thing.
Interesting.
I don't think they knew what kind of movie it was, because after you see the first body, the old man's like, huh, uh-oh. Like we're in for it. And then every time they would do one of the challenges, it was like, scoop your eye out. And like, well, I'd take that spoon and I'd kill him with it. And then stab yourself with these stakes. Well, if I had it, I'd stab him with those. Like, he had something to say for every single one,
which is what I love when I watch a movie.
Yeah, and I'm like right next to them. But all in all, it was shit.
All right, I'll be sure to skip it. So F?
Yeah, I gave it an F. You know, there's a little bit of redeeming quality of like, wow, the gore is actually good. When they cut the heart out, that looks good.
Oh, well, let me ask you. So when the one person survives, like, what did this, like, the guy that they ousted, I mean, I guess it was all sort of just like a torture thing because they kicked him out. But, like, does she get anything for surviving other than just surviving?
Because she actually wasn't part of the company. She was brought there by her boyfriend, who's part of the company, and he just told her it was like a romantic getaway for the two of them, and didn't say that it was actually a company retreat. And then everyone at the company was like, this is kind of fucked up. You don't bring your girlfriend there. So when she got there and they're like, hey, do you want to join in on all the team building stuff? She's like, no, I don't want to. I don't work here. Like, no, we insist. You have to. So she got roped into it.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
and she drives away with one eye. And
like, in the menu, if like had they known that Anya Taylor-Joy was like not in the program, I think they would have been like, you can go.
Yeah.
You're not part of this.
Yeah. After even she says it to the guy and was like, oh, too late. You're a part of it now. And I think it was more of, well, I can't let you go. You'll let everybody know that I'm killing these people. But really stupid. And then there's like a million movies called Corporate Retreat, or what is it? Is it called Corporate? Yeah, Corporate Retreat, where it's like in the woods and you do team building things and there's a killer in the woods, or the
Mm.
team building things gets you killed as you're going. But like these have no correlation to anything. Real dumb shit. Uh,
You and I will write the first good one.
uh, I watched Punisher: One Last Kill
I
on
have been
Disney
meaning to
Plus.
watch that. Yeah.
You could skip it.
Cool.
It's 40 minutes of nothing. If this was the very first time we saw the Punisher in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if he didn't show up for Born Again Season 1 and this was our reintroduction, I think it would have been fine. Because, like, he's pretty much sitting at the grave of his family, like I'm gonna kill myself. The PTSD's coming back. He's like having the ghost of all of his comrades yelling at him, and he's doing his stuff. And then he decides not to kill himself. And then Judith Light from Who's the Boss rolls up in a wheelchair and like, you killed my whole family. I'm sending everybody your location. And then it's just like 30 minutes of everyone attacking his apartment complex and him going through the city killing people. Oh yeah, and like, did you see Bo Was Afraid?
No, I did
Ah,
not.
okay, because the whole city is like gone nuts because like, oh, the crime family was killed, and so everybody thinks it'd be one thing if like if they said Fisk has been ousted as a mayor and everybody went nuts, but they don't mention anything with the
Mm.
Daredevil, but it's just chaos in the city. It's definitely a backlot, but it's like flaming barrels and people like there's a skinhead beats up a homeless dude, takes his dog and chucks it in front of a truck and lets it get run over. It's just like
Wait, you said
anarchy.
so like a crime
A
boss?
crime
A
family
crime family
is killed by the Punisher,
is killed by the Punisher.
and
And so
that
it's just
was
like
enough.
everyone was going like, oh well, now is our time to take
I
over. That's the
guess
idea.
but there just seemed like normal citizens are like, oh, we were scared being under the thumb of the Panucci's, so let's
Now,
go crazy.
now I can riot.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's stupid. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Um, there's a couple of fun kills, but all in all, this is a nothing story. It is just literally Punisher kills a bunch of guys, then realizes I need to still be the Punisher. Puts on the suit at the very end, kills the guy that kills the dog. The end.
Mm.
It's very skippable. I think they just like, well, we need to show what Frank has, what is he doing right before he shows up in Spider-Man. But
Is there any like cool kills at least?
my favorite one is he like trips a guy. The guy falls forward and he slams a fire axe into his back. And then another guy comes. He leans back, whacks the dude on the top of the head, and he falls down onto the back of that axe. And like, okay, that was pretty cool,
Okay.
but nothing really super special. And he doesn't even kill the Judith Light at the end. She gets away on in her little. I mean, she's in a mechanized one, and she has a big bodyguard. But I don't know.
It's like, oh, he almost had it, but she got to a hill and it was just like
She took off. If they would have given him like an extra couple million to pad it out, this could have been a theatrical release, and it could have been like more fun if there was more to it. But it's just like we got one really good action sequence, and that's about it.
no, Punisher is TV only.
I
Just like
guess,
Daredevil.
but they didn't shy away from the blood.
Well,
Yeah, I'd say
C
you could skip it.
minus.
I can't remember what I gave it, but that sounds about right.
All right.
Yeah. Real quick, one of the new releases that this week was a Passenger, and I feel bad for any horror movie that has to follow up after the week of Obsession. You know, the week before, everyone probably would have said, that's a fine horror movie, nothing special, but it is what it is. But following up Obsession, like, boo, this is a piece of shit. And it's not a piece of shit. It is a little boring at times, but I think when it's trying to do its scares, it does them pretty well. There's a scene where, like, because it's about van life. This couple, they gave up their loft. They're going to hit the road. They've been doing it for about 6 weeks now. She's getting a little tired of it. He's really doubling down on it. And if you stop for an accident on the road, you pick up this dark stranger, this ghostly demon or whatever it is. and then marks you with this like 3 slashes on your car, and now you're fucked. Which is a really fucked up message to say, like, don't stop and help people on the side of the road when they're hurt because you're going to be cursed. But that's the rules. Not a whole lot of lore to this. Um, but there's a scene where they're like parked in the middle of the forest and they put this like big sheet up so they could use their projector to watch a TV, and this like it's like someone's pushing their face through it, and so it's distorting the picture a little, and getting closer and you can see it from the side that it's really sticking out, and you pull it down and nothing's there. And then where does Keys go? They're out in the woods, and there's like this moss covered log that I knew it was coming, but they're really focusing on it. Like as we're turning, it kind of looks like the shape of a man, and then look, oh, it's not there, but then it is there. There's some good spooky things. A scene of her trying to get to the van. They're like parking at a Total Fit or Planet Fitness, and she's like hearing the footsteps of someone running up behind her, and she looks and no one's there. When she turns back, the van is further away.
Oh,
and every
shit.
time she keeps getting closer, she keeps hearing someone follow her, and then it's clipped farther away. So there's some like good scares, but the leads suck. They don't have good chemistry. um
Yeah, it's funny how like you've seen infinite horror movies.
yeah.
And I try and just see good ones.
Mhm.
But like I know the tropes and I know how horror movies function a lot of times. And it's just like so many of these movies I think could be saved if you just get like competent actors to be in
Yeah.
horror movies. And I know like hard acting can be kind of hard because you're just exhausted the whole time
Yeah.
from just screaming and looking scared. But like Jesus Christ, sometimes you see some of these things like this movie would be okay if I just believed you were
Yeah.
like an actual person in the scenario, not an actor.
And like they a lot of times in horror movies when you have a couple, you like one and you don't like the other, so it gives an excuse to kill off the shitty boyfriend, and she becomes the final girl. But you're supposed to like him, so he's just like, I don't know, overbearing, and I think he's a bit too much in the beginning.
Mm.
He just doesn't feel like a real person. He's the dude in the last two Bad Boys movies. Mike's estranged son that he like slept with the crime lord from another country, and then his estranged son comes back to kill him, and then he becomes like a good guy in the last one.
And this is Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, the
I didn't,
last,
I didn't see the newest ones.
but he was in
I've only
the.
seen 1 and 2. Did I see 3? Oh,
Well, there's a 4 as well.
I don't think I saw
It's
3.
For Life and then Ride or Die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either
Well, he's in that, and she's in The Foundation. And she has been made fun of online as being like the weakest part of Foundation, even though she's like one of the main leads. Um, and I think the bad guy is spooky. They do like there's some great imagery of like you're looking off into the woods and it looks like there's a face looking at you, and the turn indicator or the hazard light is just going off and brightening up his face, and then in the next click he's just not there. Just like really good subtle stuff that doesn't rely on the screamy sort of jump scares.
Yeah. I mean, that's the stuff I like.
Yeah, and I think like you would probably like that, but then when it goes to them just like being cute couple stuff, it's like, ugh, this is gross. But maybe that's me as a
It could be, yeah.
cold-hearted person. But it's like, it's fine. It's a whatever movie. I didn't hate it.
C.
I think I give it a C plus.
C plus.
I'll give it a, yeah.
Okay.
Or did I? Let me double check. Maybe I even lowered it. I don't know. No, C plus. C plus.
Okay. C plus it is.
God, I saw so many things. I saw Is God Is.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I really enjoyed it, especially the first half. I really like the first half, and I think it kind of peters towards the end. I wish it got weirder.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun concept, and it feels like a Tarantino inspired movie.
I mean, the trailer just oozed Tarantino.
It just like, oh, it's Kill Bill, and we got to hit up all these people and take them out. And I think by the time you get to the very end, it starts to slow down, and you think like, ooh, am I supposed to be rooting for these people? Yeah, I guess I am. But I don't like some of the shit that they're doing. Okay, maybe that's the point. And then like the last 10 minutes are like rapid fire. Let's wrap this shit up.
Mm.
I really like the leads. I think they're funny, and there's a lot of like them just looking at each other with subtitles of what they're thinking because they just know each other so well. Like good concept here, but I don't know. Maybe needs a rewrite.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. B
Uh,
minus.
I gave it B minus. Yeah, Steve, you're so good. And yes, I did give Punisher a C plus. Damn, Steve. But and then my last thing before we get to any of the other stuff, probably the best thing I watched, asterisk,
Sure.
is I Love Boosters. This is from Boots Riley, and
Who I've seen. He did
sorry to bother you.
Sorry to Bother You, which is the call center movie
Yes,
with
Lakeith
Lakeith
Stanfield.
Stanfield,
Yeah,
which I remember liking, but also going like, what the fuck did I
yeah,
just watch? Like super weird.
super weird.
So when I
Yeah,
saw this trailer, I was like, well, this looks super fucking
yeah.
weird, but I liked how colorful it was, and I liked the cast. I wasn't gonna go out of my way to see it, but I went on I went on Rotten Tomatoes today and saw the score. It's like 97% or something like that. Like it's pretty high.
That's very surprising. Because this
Critic
is
wise, I don't remember what it was.
I could see if you're a normie
Yeah.
and you're just going into this because what a colorful poster, you're probably going to hate this. This is not for everyone. It's weirder than Sorry to Bother You.
92% on Rotten Tomatoes critic, audience 74%
Okay,
as of
still,
right now.
still pretty good. Um, this movie is so hard to talk about because there are parts that I hate about this movie,
Mhm.
like despise, and other parts that like, god damn, I love this movie. What a creative, inventive thing. So, instead of just blathering on, I'm gonna read my letterbox review that I put to it because I sat in my car after the movie and was like, just had to sit and think about it. But all right, so much like fashion itself, the beauty and functionality of an outfit lies within one's preferences. So same thing goes for movies. You may want your movie to be a comfortable and reliable thing. You know what you're getting into when you put it on, something accessible, something off the rack. And then other times, you want the high end art of a runway show, impractical looks, that style over functionality. And it's exactly those two things. Like you want to be able to watch this as a regular movie, but you can't because it is so weird. And then it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder.
So is it like the Met Gala of movies?
Yes, but definitely weirder. More like if the Met Gala was like their theme was the circus, maybe you could.
Some would argue that every year it is a
But it's
circus.
always kind of like high class. Nothing looks like a clown designed it. Some of their stuff that they're wearing in this is very, but it's like
I'm not sure if you've looked at
I
Met Gala
have, but it's
past in
like
the past.
it's gold and black and white. It's big, it's weird, but it's not clown vomit.
Okay, fair enough.
So like I was greatly annoyed at the nonsense, but thoroughly entertained by its creativity. I do think Boots needs a new sound mixer because so much of the dialogue was drowned out by the background. There's always music playing, and it's loud and it's fun. It's a really good soundtrack, but it's got that tenant problem of like I can't hear what everyone's saying. And maybe it's fine because you don't pay attention to the actual plot because it's absolute nonsense. It's never going to make sense. So maybe just take it in visually and that's it. But like I sometimes need a little more than that. Um, yeah, hearing him speak doesn't mean you're going to understand it, the movie better. There's a scene with Lakeith Stanfield that it's the first step of like, oh, this is fucking weird. And it's about 40 minutes in, and I laughed so hard. It was so shocking and out there that I think it would kill a little old lady who had no idea what she was getting into.
Okay.
Insane thing. And then you think you kind of understand where it's going, and then they introduce this sci-fi element that just makes the whole thing even weirder, and it just culminates in something just absolutely bizarre. It felt kind of like everything everywhere all at once,
Yeah.
but like more nonsensical. That they do their best to kind of explain like why they're rocks or bagels or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like that movie is mostly logical.
Yeah, this they try, but it gets really weird, and like I can't recommend it to anyone. Um, but I really did enjoy
Mhm.
myself.
So the question is this a B minus or a B?
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with because it's like it just depends on where you lean. Less, you like it less or more. I'm gonna go B minus.
God damn it, Steve. B minus. Yeah, yeah. It's like
I know you too well.
I could give this movie an F and I could give it an A plus. It just
Yeah.
has it's so bizarre.
So you liked Sorry to Bother You more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's some. I like all the actors in this. Everyone's so good. Like Kiki Palmer's always so damn charming. What Naomi Aki from Blink Twice, she's good in it. The mom from It, Welcome to Derry.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's funny in it. Like Keith Stanfield's barely even in it. Don Cheadle is in like crazy makeup and in a wig that you could tell, I could tell from it he's doing a voice, but
Mhm.
he doesn't look like him at all. And there's just like there's claymation, stop motion in this. It Oh my god, it's got so much going on. It's got
Even if you
he's
don't
a
like Boots Riley movies, I can see why you go like I appreciate him because he's trying.
yeah
He's trying. He is doing his own shit.
he's not making the t-shirt and jeans you wear every day. He's making the crazy dress out of cardboard boxes that you go, that's really cool, but you would never ever
Yeah.
wear it.
You want to make me excited for a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie? Make it directed by Boots Riley. Be like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that's gonna be,
Yeah,
but I gotta see it.
give him Howard the Duck or something like
Oh,
that, you
Boots
know?
Riley, Howard the Duck would be pretty
give,
sweet.
give him something crazy like that. I don't see him ever wanting to
No,
do
no,
anything
no, no.
like that, but I applaud. It will make no money.
Yeah,
But maybe it should be up for like production design, costuming. I could
that could be
totally see
fun.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. On to the main
On
stuff.
to the main topics. Okay, well, I got a lot out in a half hour. So, all right, let's start with The Boys season 5.
Please, because
We're not going to talk about just the finale. Let's talk about the entire season, our pros, our cons. I know you've been over The Boys since like season 2. Even when it was still in its peak Good Boys, you were done with it. You didn't bother with Gen V, and this was more of a watch on my behalf. Or you've already gotten this far,
it
might
was
as well
more of
finish it off.
I got this far. I might as well finish it up.
See how it all.
Yeah, I'd say that the first 3 seasons I was about, and then season 4 I was like, I'm
Yeah.
kind of over this, and then season 5 was like, I can't wait for this fucking show to be over. And not that I thought it was like egregiously bad by any means. It's just like I just stopped caring.
I enjoyed the season more than the last one, even though there's stuff like the last season we got an introduction to Firecracker, and I think Firecracker
Firecracker was
is
great.
saved the last 2 seasons.
Agreed.
She is the strongest character out of all of them. I think Oh Father is pretty funny in this, but I think by the end of it, when it's just Homelander, The Deep, and Oh Father, like that's it. That's your 7.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of wish they did more with Oh Father.
yeah,
Because it kind of feels like he was just thrown in, and I don't know, just didn't do enough with his powers, or like,
I mean, you could say that about Starlight. She just never.
I mean, definitely say it about Firecracker because I forgot what her power was. She
Yeah,
never used it.
she used it in season 3 or season 4, and then never used it for combat or anything. I think it was literally one scene.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she just didn't like light someone's cigarette. Just when she gets on her show or like when she's signing off of her show, boom, 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 shoot some stuff in the air, but never.
Or like has sex with Soldier Boy and then lights her cigarette like that.
Sure, yeah.
Or his cigarette or whatever.
Or it's like she can't help it. she has an orgasm and they're just going everywhere and like,
Oh,
sorry, sugar, I burned the sheets. It happens all the
that would
time.
have been fun.
Speaking of the sex scene, there's one. I think it's the very first time they're having sex. It is like she's not moving.
Mhm.
She's on top of him and she's going wild with the voiceover. She is having the time of her life and it slowly pans out. She's just sitting there and then she rolls off like that was a bad take. Either you calm it down or she needs to put more action in. Something, I don't know. It was really bad editing for that. But regardless, it's just I saw it and then I watched it again with my roommate and it was like it just stood out. I was like, this is really, really bad. Um, I don't think Soldier Boy should have been in this. I think they needed him for the whole father stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been under the impression they should have killed him off in season 3 when him and Maeve fall out of the building and he took her powers away. I think that should have killed him as well and been done with it.
I agree. I will also say that next to Firecracker, I would say that Soldier Boy was probably my favorite part of.
He's good in this, and that sucks. It's like he's so good, but I don't want him there.
I think those two have been the saving grace of the past like 2 seasons.
Yeah, no one on the boys has been interesting at all.
No,
you try to do something new with Kimiko, and she's annoying. Her the way she speaks is very obnoxious.
Yeah,
looks like they've overdubbed her.
It was so jarring.
Yeah,
and I remember watching it and turning. Actually, did I even watch it with my wife? No, I didn't. I feel like I
turned to a mirror of myself.
I gymmed to a camera that wasn't there. I'm like, are they fucking dubbing her voice?
I think so.
What is this?
I think like maybe just her performance wasn't big enough, and they're like, no, you got to really make it sound more like a Valley girl.
I honestly think it might just be like so jarring from just 4 seasons of silence.
That could be it as well.
When you actually hear her speak, then you would think like, oh well, in any other show she would get like 1 or 2 words out and she'd slowly grow and learn to like speak. But it's just like, nope, instantly talking like this, and it's just like it's shocking. It doesn't seem real.
And if there was the gimmick of, you know how in Transformers when Bumblebee talks, it's whatever's on the radio? Like if she only knew how to speak in catchphrases or like slogans from commercials and stuff, like she's only picking up, you know, the things that are bombarded with us, and that's the only stuff she was able to say. Like if there's some sort of gimmick to it.
Wasn't that kind of what she was saying?
She learned from TikTok and porn.
Yeah.
But she was able to have conversations about anything. You know, like if she couldn't just say like that sounds good, she would have to go like ba da ba ba ba, I'm loving it. You know, like I'm not saying
we're getting demonetized right now.
I don't think it has to be that, but I wish there was something more than just Valley Girl say the most disgusting things possible.
Sure, yeah.
I'm glad, like, there was a part in the first episode after Starlight rescues everyone and, like, takes Frenchie and Kimiko first and then comes back for Huey, and he's all pissy about it. Like, we better not be doing this again.
Yeah.
I don't need them arguing. Because, like, Starlight got pissed off at Huey because he got raped the last season. Like, after he gets rescued, she's all pissy at him. Like, we better not do this. They need to be over it. Like, they are an established couple.
Yeah.
They're good.
If they're the heart of the show, let them be the heart of the show.
Yeah, and I'm glad they just got back and they're like, look, let's fuck and we're good. and that was the end of it. I'm glad we didn't harp on it too much.
I mean, I think, well, I say they're the heart of the show, but they're like the
future.
The, power couple of the group, pun intended. But obviously, like this season, Frenchie and Kimiko are the heart of at least the season.
But you can't get me to care about Frenchie. When he died, it was like, okay. Everyone knew if anyone's going to die, it's going to be Frenchie. So when it happens, it's like, yep, I'm surprised it took so goddamn long.
Yeah, as we were watching the finale just before we started recording this, and it gets to, we're jumping to the end where Huey has to shoot Butcher, and he's like, "You'll fucking let him, mate." And then Huey's just crying in the corner. I was like, are we supposed to, like, feel bad?
Yeah.
Because, like, the show has never once, in my memory, like, really tried to do anything with, like, emotion. Like, maybe season 1 stuff with Becca and him and stuff. But I was just like, we've just watched these people, like, with giant anthropomorphic penises or whatever. That's not the word.
Prehensile
penises. Thank you.
Anthropomorphic is like
crazy. Would be the penis walking around.
Yeah, like a person. Yeah. Which surprised they didn't do.
I'm surprised they didn't do. Yeah. we've seen like all this like gross,
Yeah.
ridiculous stuff. So when you finally like try and like make me feel anything, it's kind of like,
Especially for Butcher.
yeah, like I know it's always been the battle of like Huey fighting for Butcher's soul,
Mm-hmm.
but much like Homelander, like I knew he wasn't going to change or be a better
Yeah.
person. So when he dies, like he deserves to die. He
Yeah.
is 100% a
Yeah.
bad person. Did he save the world? Of course,
He did a good
absolutely,
thing.
he did a good thing. But like I liked that Ryan was like, "Nah, dude, I'm not going to be your adopted
Yeah.
son or whatever. You're a fucking piece of shit."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yep,
Yep.
you're right, kid."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like me, I wish it made me care at all when I watched this. That's what I want. I'm not necessarily that I need to cry, but I just want to be like I understand and feel the emotion that's going on right here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't because I watched all these people do awful things for
Yeah.
5+ years, and it's just like thank God this show's over.
Yeah.
At least for me personally.
I'd say the big problem for this season is a couple of things. One, V1. They spend so much time. We gotta hunt it down and get it because if Homelander gets it, he'll live forever. Which ends up not really mattering that much,
Mm,
and therefore, same with the virus. They make it. Oh, he got the V1. Now we can't use it on him, so it's kind of pointless. And I actually kind of forgot about it
yeah,
until he brings it out at the very end. Um, and it's like it's such a waste to spend all this time doing it for it to not matter because the way you defeat him was figured out the episode before the last episode.
mm,
Giving Kimiko's giving her a Soldier Boy's power by doing what the Russians did to him is way too late in the game.
yeah.
To they should have at least brought it up or been slowly trying it or something, but like they just figured it out in episode 7.
That's the number one, not necessarily that thing, but the number one criticism I've seen for this season is just like the last 2 episodes are so rushed.
Yeah.
And it just feels like we need to get to the end, and
Yeah.
this is how we defeat them. The end.
Yeah. And when we spend so much time building up the Vought Rising show by showing us a bomb site, showing letting us know all these characters that are going to show up in your next favorite show coming next year. Like they should not have had any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just detracts from what we're doing and should have focused on the Gen V kids. I know they didn't know it was going to get canceled, but that was like the whole virus thing came from their show. That's where we got the start of it. They were building up Marie as the Homelander stopper because she can do the blood stuff better than Victoria Newman could. Because like that always pissed me off that they killed her off because she's an asset. Starlight can't do shit to Homelander, but Victoria Newman can. I know Homelander has said things like, I can move quicker than you can think about blowing my brain, so
Mm-hmm.
don't even try it. But keep her around for it. So you have the Gen V people.
Well, it's that thing of like, well, we need to take out Quicksilver because he would solve all of our problems.
Yeah,
It's that
exactly.
thing.
It's the I've heard it called like you gotta Professor X them. Because in every movie, Professor X is handicapped in some way because he's such a powerful mind, he should be able to stop everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get the Gen V people and use them for getting into the White House at least. Like, hey, it sure would be good if we had someone who could shrink miniature and crawl through and deactivate this thing so we could get through a door. And then you have the gender swapping one would be great for like you go in as a woman and they're like, hey, so and so is in here, and then you switch to a guy and it's like, oh, she went that way to lure people.
Yeah.
One of those dumb things. And then you have I mean, there is a guy who's just kind of like he doesn't fly. He jumps really high and he's like invulnerable and he just rips people apart. He's kind of like their Hulk.
Okay.
They didn't even bring him back for that episode. And then you got what's her name? I can't remember. But there's one who could touch you and make you do whatever. What a perfect way to touch a Secret Service person and say, lead us to the Oval Office. Like,
Mm-hmm.
use them because all you have is Tentacle Boy, can't kill girl and sparkler lady, and their powers are not great against Homelander, but at least you can use them for something. And now their legacy is they took some people to Canada. Like, wow, what a waste.
I can
Um,
understand like not using them because then it's like, oh, will that take focus away from the boys?
mhm.
Uh, and then you know, we can use them later, maybe, so it's better just to save it. But I agree. I mean, as someone who didn't watch Gen V, when those kids showed up, I was like, I assume they're from Gen V. Because, like,
Yeah,
who the fuck are
yeah,
they? And watching the last episode, and they're talking about, like, oh, we want to help and do this. It's like, okay, maybe you should let them do that because, like, otherwise, like, just cut the scene. Why they need to come? You just needed to have one scene with them to just explain where they go.
hmm,
And it just, I was like, this scene just seems
yeah.
stupid. Like, I mean, obviously, I guess you want to pay tribute to those characters, and for the people who watch Gen V, it's nice to see those characters again. But for someone who like has strictly stuck with the boys, I was like, I don't care about
Yeah.
any of this that's
You
going
have
on
to
right now.
rely on the previously on the boys
Yeah,
to understand anything of what they can do. So that's why they needed to be worked in earlier. And so they could have been using them to get them out of the internment camp and not just
hmm,
show up. Like they needed to be part of the team from the get go. And then you have more people to kill off as you're getting closer to the big fight. Because
yeah.
nobody cares if the Gen V people live or die. I wanted a season 3. I want to see where they go. They had some really fun powers for this world. But if you're not going to do it, it's fine. You could kill them off in this show.
And, I think there could have been a fun thing of, you have episode one where they're in the internment camp, they escape, and it's like, oh, well, we're going to need some backup. And then it's like three or four of the Gen V kids, and they're all girls. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that'd be fun if episode two was just called The Girls. And then
Sure.
it's just like a side mission that and maybe this doesn't work because it just detracts from the like arc of the season,
Mm-hmm.
but you have an episode that's specifically designed for them to be introduced into this show
Yeah.
and how they can work and function with this group, and now they're just there.
Yep.
And I mean, they can fuck off for an episode, or they can just be throughout the whole season. But like, it'd be a fun thing of just go, okay, here's the boys, here's the girls. Now
Mm-hmm.
they're a team together,
Yeah.
and we
Yep.
can do different stuff and try new
Absolutely.
things. And it's not just relying on
No, we
these five
have to.
characters who like we're stuck with and no one really likes
No,
anymore.
we have to get to the episode where we go into a place with evil spores that make us pissed off. So we all have to yell at each other, even though that's what we do already. We're constantly bickering, but we got to actually punch and shoot each other, which I think Huey shoots Mother's Milk in the shoulder. They never bring it up again.
Yep.
Um,
Huey 100% shoots Mother's Milk. I don't remember where, but it's like,
he got him.
yeah,
And it's like all for what? To see a guy stuck up on a wall and then, Soldier Boy kills him anyway. Like that whole episode, except for the Starlight stuff with her dad, I really liked that.
yeah.
Very X-Men 2 with the brother calling the cops on.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But everything about them fighting, like I like Soldier Boy putting Homelander in that cage and being like, "Fuck you, let's see how you like it in
yeah.
there." But the stuff with the boys, like this is a waste of time. This is nothing.
Yeah.
And I hate that Soldier Boy gave him the serum at the end. The whole thing is him going, "You suck, you suck, you suck. I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you." Well,
You are my son,
you are
though.
my son, and I
I owe
guess
you one.
you're the lady that you liked and had sex with is probably your mom. She would have wanted you to have it, so okay, have it. Like terrible.
It was a fine enough reason for me, but I also think like, it doesn't need to be this way. Why couldn't he just? He had it. Homelander snaps his neck, and then he takes it. The
Yeah,
end.
yeah. Have Homelander kill his dad in that moment
Yeah.
of like he's about to crush it, and Homelander is like it would show he cares more about that than actually him trying to have a relationship with his father.
Yeah. Not that the show, I think, ever really tries to, but I think one thing, like, you look at Ted Lasso, it's all about, like, a lot of it is, like, dad stuff and relationships with men. And then here's this show where, like, you have Mother's Milk, who all he wants to do is be a good dad and husband, but he can't because he's stuck in this world that Butcher's built for him. You have Homelander, who is obviously a piece of shit, but, like, kind of tries with Ryan, who
Hmm.
wants a connection with Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
You have Butcher, who also tries to have a connection with Ryan. You have Huey and
But is
his
a bad son, kills his own father.
Elizabeth. You have Huey, who has a great relationship with his dad, but then that goes sideways because of all the bad stuff that Butcher has led him into.
Hmm.
You got to
Annie and
start
her.
Annie and her dad. Like, there's so much stuff with dads in this that I
Yeah.
wish it like amounted to anything. If this whole series is about like the effects fathers can have on their children, then you could use that to like really build character work.
Hmm.
But like, and it's there, but it's never hits hard enough to where it feels like it actually matters. It just feels like, oh well, they're all shitty dads, so they need to die. And then Huey, he's got a really good dad, so he needs to die.
Yeah.
So it's just like, kill all your fathers. All your
Hmm.
fathers try and kill their sons. All their sons kill them. It's just like, what does
Yeah.
this all mean? Or is
Yeah.
it just, eh?
Yeah. Very surprised Maeve didn't come back. I know there's no point. She's powerless, but everybody else was coming back. Surprised Maeve didn't come back, and I'm surprised Stormfront didn't come back. I know they said she died and like Homelander killed her, but aren't they technically supposed to be immortal? Because of the V1? Like Stormfront should maybe have been alive, but I don't really care. I'm glad she wasn't there.
I completely forgot about
And then
Stormfront, to be honest.
did wasn't there a thing about superheroes can't have kids? And that was what was so special about Ryan coming from Homelander. Like this shouldn't be possible, and they had to like make the babies in the lab. Wasn't that something season one, season
I
two?
don't
Because
remember.
we never hear about anybody else having kids. I thought it was a side effect of the V. And then, so then having Starlight and Huey would be like, oh, look, it works sometimes. I don't know, but it just feels.
Maybe some of like the older well, then if well, because the Soldier Boy was his
He,
dad,
he was grown in a lab. I
right?
think it was like you take Stormfront's egg and Soldier Boy's
Oh
sperm,
yeah,
and then they grew him in a lab. I don't think anyone was actually pregnant because remember that in season one there was that lab with the babies and
yeah,
Butcher
yeah.
holds up one. Like I don't think those were natural birth babies.
Sure.
I thought there was something in there, and I could be wrong. It's been I don't know what 6 7 years since season one, 8 years. Uh,
Yeah, and maybe the show's set in one season, but also how many superheroes or quote unquote heroes are on the planet? Is it like 1%? Is it less than 1%? Because it always seems like there's a lot,
a ton, yeah.
but at the same time, like a lot of them never really get involved. We're just stuck with the same like 12.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I do wish we could have seen some other heroes because like if I saw a clip, it was of Homelander and Maeve gonna go stop like bank robbers. It was in like episode one, I think,
mm,
and they're just talking about like we're the important ones, and we're listening to these guys, and it was really casual, and him talking to the SWAT guy, going, "Oh no, you're the real hero," as he goes, and like that's right. They were crime fighters. Yes, we did a bunch of marketing and things and they became celebrities, but they were stopping crime. Yeah, they were manufacturing a lot of it, but we didn't get to see any of that. And we really didn't get to see any of the bigger world of this season. Everything felt like 5 rooms. It's like Vought Tower, the White House, wherever the boys were hiding in,
mm,
and a back alley so they could exit a van and go into a door. It
yeah.
was it. I know their budget got cut, but it felt so small. Like Homelander never
We're either in the
interact.
woods or in New York City.
Yes, and like Homelander. Besides that first episode when they show the plane footage, he's never really in any scene where with a ton of people, and it just felt like we missed all their reactions. And I guess we have to chalk it up to everyone in this world is dumb as shit because they just kind of go with everything.
Yeah.
Homelander was been able to get away with everything forever, and it's just absolutely reflective of our world of like how could you see something so obviously evil and still be for it. But I wish we could have had some like man on the street things of just
Mm.
like I don't give a shit if he burned that plane down. He's my man, And I wanted to see like they're talking about like the Starlighters and you gotta stop them. What are they doing to stop? Are they bombing bot facilities or anything?
Hmm.
Like I wish we got to see a bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I think what made the first 3 seasons for me kind of more enjoyable and like it had me more engaged was because when this show started, it was sort of like a commentary on celebrity culture
Hmm.
and and superhero culture, and you can have someone like Homelander who everyone sees as Clark Kent, Superman, and great, or like Taylor Swift, but then well Taylor Swift has a whole team of people, but actually she's a fucking monster,
Yeah.
something like that,
Hmm.
where these you have these characters who like you understand why everyone roots for them, and you're like that makes sense, but also, oh look, they're multi-layered, and Maeve struggles with her place in terms of like she really does want to be a good person,
Hmm.
but she works with these pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So does that make her a piece of shit? And then you have the Deep who starts out as kind of like just abusing his power, and then just becomes this pathetic little fuckboy.
Hmm.
It's just like anything that like made those characters interesting in the first three seasons goes away, and then just becomes like, no, well, now they're just this heightened evil to the nth degree,
Yeah.
where like now they have no redeeming factors whatsoever. Like I feel like maybe they're trying to make you feel bad for the Deep, but he did so much bad stuff you
Hmm.
can't. Uh,
He's the one of like, I know he's a piece of shit and he needs his comeuppance. But I love the Deep so much
I kind of
because
like
he
the Deep
is
too.
the biggest dumbass. Like the scene when they're fighting on the beach and she's like, "Take some responsibility for yourself." No.
uh, but yeah, so I think what really was the not the downfall of the show, because obviously it's still popular and everything, but where I kind of fell off was like, okay, season four is this is the political season, and I understand 100% why you would go this route, and then season five is like I'm the Messiah route,
Hmm.
and all of that just is like far less interesting to me.
Hmm.
And maybe it's just because like I see it every day, so it like
Yeah.
bums me the fuck out that it's
Hmm.
like everywhere on my television now too. But like I did not care about Homelander, like not running for president, but like kind of like taking on that mantle in season four, and then season five going like, well, I'm Jesus Christ risen again, and just like have all these like the masses going like, yeah, and this
Hmm.
makes sense. Like let's do. It just seems like I know what's happening in the real world to a
Uh-huh.
certain degree, but it just seems so ridiculous in this setting that it kind of like takes me out of it, where everyone is just pure evil, and then the guys you're rooting for aren't fun to watch anymore
Yeah.
because it's like they're not dealing with these ridiculous celebrity shit. They're dealing with like real world ending stakes, where it's like, okay, well, the show isn't fun anymore. We're just doing serious, and like the funny stuff is just how like gross and violent things can be.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yeah, that was in season one and two and three, but like I feel like there was a little bit more attempts at like humor in those seasons.
Hmm.
Where this is just like bleak and hard to watch
Yeah.
most of the time because you're just like when you're not with the boys dealing with this thing, you're watching how the world reacts to Homelander doing all the stuff and like just openly killing people, and people going like, "Yeah, they deserved it,"
Hmm.
and you're just like, "Well, that's not what I want to see."
Yeah. That's like that's my real world. That shouldn't be my entertainment.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I am okay with watching things that reflect the real world.
Yeah.
That is storytelling, and us as a society, we've been doing that for 2000,
Yeah.
5,000, whatever. I'm not a history buff, but like thousands of years, we've been telling stories about the real world in fantastical ways.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's just like this show used to be fun to me, and now I'm like I'm
Yeah.
just over it.
Yeah. So I mean, I could keep talking about how'd you feel about the final fight?
Pretty underwhelming. It
Yeah.
felt like we lost. We spent all of our budget, or like where our budget was cut. So like
Yeah.
we have to have Homelander, a Superman fight in a single room
Yeah.
was a little silly. And understand like you know it made sense to sort of contain him somewhere, even though obviously he could burst through the ceiling at any
Yeah.
point. But it's like, why have this thing where we're flying through the city and he's tossing Butcher here and there? Like, no, we'll just keep him one spot
We could
so
have him on camera.
Kimiko can do a thing. Like,
Sure.
I understand why, and it makes sense for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
But it also does feel kind of lackluster for a final fight.
Hmm.
But if the whole point kind of is that, well, Homelander isn't Superman, like, yeah, he has his powers, but he's just a sniveling little piece of shit, then, like, he should die in a sort of, like, unceremonious
Yeah.
way.
I'm pretty sure he dies by crowbar in the
Well,
comic as
yeah.
well.
But I don't know how the comic, like, builds up to that.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, it just feels like of all the crazy deaths we've seen where they've done like really graphic or
Hmm.
cool or interesting deaths, it's just like crowbar to the forehead. Like, yeah, he like cracks his skull open, which
Hmm.
is like nice, but it just seems like, oh, shouldn't
He
I don't.
deserves
He
to
should
have
get
it.
like a steamroller, like slowly roll over him or
Yeah,
something like
or
that.
like you break his legs and his spine and he can't do anything and you're slowly torturing him over the next 10 years, like, but that's not what good guys do. You take out the bad guy, like.
Drown him in fucking milk or something. I don't know.
You would love that. I think it's fine for what it is, for how kind of small the season is, for how cut back on the budget it is. I'm a-okay. But earlier in the episode, he goes out onto his patio and takes that like Elon Musk character, takes him to space, and then
Yep.
comes back in a second or two.
Hmm.
And he can't fly out of this room quick enough before a tentacle can grab him. I
Well,
don't think so. His
that's
flight was so
that's
slow
the earlier in this season he has a race with
with A
A
Train.
Train who like when he moves, we've established in the show, it's basically like he's stopped time.
Yeah.
He moves so fast,
Mm-hmm.
and Homelander can keep up with him. So, like, there should be no like whenever someone grabs him. Why isn't Homelander doing like
A
super
million
speed
punch.
punches?
Yeah.
It's always just
Yeah, or like, oh, his tentacles are around me? Cool. I'll fly us both out of here.
yeah,
Yeah, they really kind of nerfed him in the last second. And like, if say Kimiko gave him a little blast, just a bit, and oh, I'm not as strong, I'm not as fast. Okay, you can believe it a little bit more.
mhm.
But I think
Yeah.
that's fine. Um, we haven't talked about Sister Sage. What a wasted character. I loved her so much last season, and she does nothing
Hmm.
in this season. And her big master plan of let the world burn so I could go read my books, I don't think it's good enough.
Yeah. It seems like she existed this season just so they could do product placement for all the fast food she was
Yeah, I
eating.
mean, she loved that Taco Bell, so I'll
Yeah,
give her that.
I mean, I do too.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch movies, I always enjoy the tasty 5-layer burrito while I drink my Baja Blast.
I do think she still needed to die.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
after she's like, I'm going to Harry Potter World, see ya. Butcher should have went out there and been like, no, 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 no. You played a part in this. You don't get a happy ending, and slit her throat right there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she does help them quite a bit,
But she
and also
also,
she's like without powers, so it's like, well, now she's no longer a threat, so we don't need to kill her. But I feel like she kind of deserved to die
she
too.
deserved.
But whatever. That ultimately doesn't bother
Yeah.
me. Uh, Yeah, so I mean, I think the montage at the end kind of works where
Yeah.
like everyone gets their happy ending. Uh even Butcher in a way. Uh I just it ends and it's kind of like okay,
Yeah.
that was a show I watched.
It's. I don't think it's as egregious as, like say, Game of Thrones.
No, I wouldn't say it was a bad episode. I would just say it was a lackluster
Yeah,
episode.
it definitely we slid off towards the end. Um, and where like if someone says, "Hey, should I watch Game of Thrones?" It's always with a caveat of like, "Yeah, it's really good, but." And I think I would do the same thing for this, but it wouldn't be as bad. It's like, yeah, check out The Boys. It's fun. It doesn't get it. It gets worse in the later seasons, but it's still worth your time if you like that sort of shit. Where if I have to convince someone to watch Game of Thrones if they haven't already did, and like, nah, I don't know.
See, I'd be curious if people who have never seen Game of Thrones like well, the difference between Game of Thrones and The Boys is like yeah, The Boys is popular, but it's not Game of Thrones. No
No,
show has ever been Game of Thrones. Uh,
Breaking Bad would probably be the closest thing.
kinda.
I mean, it hit the like by the time season 3 rolled around, everybody was watching.
Sure, but I feel like yeah, Breaking Bad was perfect television
Mhm.
essentially and a big deal. But like Game of Thrones, I think was just like crushing numbers, like unseen for
and
like its time,
and bringing
and
people in who don't watch
yeah, it's like
fantasy and
it is like the show
yeah.
on the planet for sure across the world. Um, but I think I'd be curious if people watch it now, like not really thinking about the hype, or if like someone just says watch Game of Thrones and they
Hmm.
don't necessarily know anything about the ending, or maybe they just are like, rumblings. I could see them watching the whole thing, going like, you know what, that was
That's
pretty
fine.
good,
Yeah. Not how I
and
thought
not
it would end, but
but like not hating it. It's like I
sure.
don't see what all the hubbub was about.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things like over time, I think can kind of fade a little bit where anyone who's starting it now would be like all together be like that's good stuff. Because I mean, if you now we're just it's a Game of Thrones
Hmm.
podcast. I would say watch Game of Thrones because I think there's far more great
Yeah.
and amazing than there is bad.
Sure.
And even in that final season, there is a lot of, I think, really good stuff.
Hmm.
It's just, does it hit the high you wanted it to hit on its way out? No,
Yeah.
but
And maybe it is better when you binge it. When you could watch it all in a month and you're not waiting years,
correct.
and
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think, there was too much build up over that
Sure.
time. Where this, you could just go in blind, enjoy it all, and go like, cool. And now you have House of the Dragon and Night of the Seven Kingdoms to also like lean into. So it's like, yeah, maybe this didn't, but I still have these two things to
Yeah.
enjoy.
But it's like I can see Vault Rising not doing so well because it's like, oh, you didn't kill it in the end. Now I'm soured on
Yeah, I
the
think Vault
next
Rising is
thing.
one season.
Yeah, and that'd be fine.
Because I mean, you're doing it because you already greenlit. It's already shooting and all that stuff. It might even already be done. I think there's like a trailer out there.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah,
Doesn't.
it's out next year, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's
But I just mean like you canceled Gen V. The boys didn't end super popular. I think at this point they're like, we're beating a dead horse.
yeah.
We're gonna
I
ride
mean, but
this.
there's also The Boys Mexico to look forward to.
There's the boys
There's a
Mexico.
show, apparently, I don't know all the details, but apparently it is a Spanish language boys
Did you
show
tell me this already?
set in Mexico. And I think that's one of the reasons why they put Soldier Boy back into the capsule because, okay, you have Bot Rising. Well, what happens? We know what happens to some of those characters in the future, but then we could actually have Jensen Ackles go down to Mexico and do more stuff. I don't know 100%, but I could also see them saying, let's just cancel that one before we even get started. Let's not bother. But
Yeah. I mean, there are times when spin-off shows work and are
yeah,
great. Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Uh,
Joey.
yeah, and Joey. But
I mean, Frasier.
sure. And you never know. You gotta try. And these are established properties, but it just feels like any spin-off show now of like these major things that are doing well, just like not good.
You
Like
gotta, if you're gonna
Vox
spend.
Machina and Mighty Nine work because those are two separate things, just
Mhm.
set in the same world, and it's also animated, so that also I think kind of helps sell it. But when you're doing all this stuff and these
Mhm.
actors are pushing 50 and they're supposed to be, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Before we move on, I'll just how I would pitch if we could fix this a little bit.
Okay, sure.
I'd say
Make the comic.
no. Apparently, that's not so great. I would have we start this with Homelander trying to be the president. He's like, look, I'm just going to do it. And Congress and the Senate, they're like, no, get the fuck out of here. You're not in charge. We didn't nominate you. And he's like, no, you're going to have to listen to me. No, we're not going to. And he levels it. He kills everyone. Now there's no one else in power. I am the only one. And that is one of the things that spur the Starlighters or whatever. Now we're
Yeah.
having these factions of people with other superheroes are like, uh-oh, this is not good. And he realizes he wants to do the Jesus thing, but you do that early. This should be the first like 2 episodes. He says, I am your new god, and people are not having it. This everybody turns on Homelander, and he doesn't understand it, and so he decides to go scorch Earth. And so all the Starlighters and every superhero who ever existed, regardless of their power, they are all like, we got to get this guy. And he's going around killing every superhero on the planet. I'm going to be the only one. I'm going to live forever. I'm going to be, the guy. You will have no one else to rely on. And so he is just killing every single person he can, and people are getting scared, but other countries, they're gathering their forces, and you do have that sort of final major battle, and you have the Gen V people. Have you seen the fan videos of Homelander in the stadium? He's making his announcement of being God in like a football stadium, and everyone's booing him. So he just like flies up to the middle and just lasers in a circle and just like kind of collapses the whole thing. Like we
Well,
needed big things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, you know. And
Omni-Man shit.
Butcher taking down Vought Tower to land on Homelander, you know, because
Yeah.
there's that poster of Vought Tower being destroyed and the poster of Homelander up in the sky, and there's a nuke going off. Like they truly needed to live up to that scorched earth
Yeah.
thing.
So I'm kind of with you. I'd say that you do this V1 stuff in season 4.
Yeah.
He like the season ends with him getting the V1.
Yes.
Homelander is now immortal. How do we stop? And like a god, because it's kind of like in this season, it's oh, I believe I'm the second coming, but I know I can die. But if I get this thing, then I
Mm-hmm.
won't die.
Yeah.
And then it just gets undermined in the last 2 episodes anyway. So
You could even have Homelander release it and be like, let the virus kill all the soups. I'm the
sure,
only one
yeah.
left. And now there's a ticking clock of our good guys.
Like Starlight can't defeat. Like now it's just humans versus me.
Yeah.
Who can stop me?
Yep.
Like that could be. I mean, other than like maybe keep Kimiko. Like she
Sure.
was locked away or something in the virus. Whatever. It's some bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have him reach godhood at the end of season 4, and also like kill the. I like that idea of kind of just like killing anyone in power. So now like I am the only power, and then that is the whole crux of season 5, where like oh, well now they're doing from the get go. Maybe they're doing experiments on like they heard about what Soldier Boy had, what they did with Soldier Boy. We need to do experiments on Kimiko, and then like throughout the season they're doing things to like help build her up to be the one to take him down, and then that leads into the final big fight where it's just like Kimiko and the boys versus Homelander because they're literally like the only people who could do it. And then the whole world could be watching, and then you have this big thing, and like I could see that.
It's like, yes, we know this show has never been about the huge, you know, Man of Steel city collapsing action, but it felt like that's what we're building to. When you say scorched earth, it's not scorched room.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's enough. That's like 40 minutes of boys talk. I think it's
That
time
was
to
longer
move
than I thought it
on.
was going to be because I really didn't have much to say about this show.
Yeah, well, apparently
I guess I
did. Well, let's get to our main topic: Mandalorian versus. I keep saying versus Grogu. Mandalorian and Grogu. That would be a fun match. Star Wars presents a Disney property, Mandalorian and Grogu.
Is it Mandalorian and Grogu or the Mandalorian and Grogu?
It's it's actually Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. So instead of getting a season 4, they probably did the smart thing of taking 5 episodes and squishing it into one movie. So instead of getting a couple $1 million of new subscribers on Disney Plus, they could get closer to $1 billion in theaters. I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion.
No.
But I will say theater parking lots have been pretty full this weekend. I don't know if everyone's seeing Obsession, but I could only assume.
Well, that's one of the things I want to talk to you about is at least at our location, anytime I looked at for Obsession, pretty much completely full. I went to see The Mandalorian today, 5:30 p.m. Memorial Day weekend. I mean, I know people are at like the beach and stuff, but I was like, everybody's off. The theater's probably going to be packed for Mandalorian. This was a huge theater I was in. It was me and one other couple.
Wow.
3 people in my showtime for a Star Wars property opening weekend. And that's fucking it. Now, there's a bunch more showtimes for The Mandalorian Grogu.
You can really spread them out.
In bigger theaters.
Yeah.
And Obsession was in a smaller one.
Yeah.
And less showtimes. So that could be a reason why that's filling up and The Mandalorian isn't. But I was like, man, it's like the fucking Mandalorian going to lose to like essentially a horror indie flick? That would be crazy.
I did see some box office numbers. Obsession is number 2, but it didn't really drop. It made like another $20 million this weekend, which that movie was made for less than $1 million. Did you know that?
It was like I heard it was small, but I didn't know.
It was like nothing. Like that's insane. That is going to make that much. Even if it just makes $5 million total, that's a huge increase. But it's making 20, 40 million.
Yeah,
that's nuts. But Mandalorian has made about 80 million so far, so it's not doing bad. But it's not doing other.
But I don't think you're getting like
You're not getting
back-to-back
to the
weeks.
billions.
No,
It's
I
not
don't
going to
think it's
crack a billion.
I don't think it's going to carry into additional
Yeah,
viewings.
because after, I mean, like next week is Backrooms, but the week after that is like He-Man or Toy Story. It's like it has a very
Yeah,
limited time to make its money, and Star Wars makes its money because the fans are rabid and they want to see it again and again and again. And this movie is not one you need to see again. This movie is incredibly boring, and I really did not like this movie.
hmm.
If I'm gonna give it a grade, probably a D plus.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
and I think when I initially left the theater, it was like, it's fine, C minus, and then it just kept sticking with me. I was like, yeah, but this and that, and it just kept getting lower and lower. So I
Yeah.
think a D plus is an appropriate thing. What about you?
So you're someone who has consumed all the Star Wars stuff,
Everything but animated.
and I have tolerated quite a bit of it. But much like sort of the Marvel train, I've kind of hopped off the Star Wars train.
Sure.
But I saw all three seasons of The Mandalorian. But I didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett or any other shows.
One of
I
the
don't
best
know.
Mandalorian episodes is a Book of Boba Fett episode.
I'm sure it is. Uh, so I kind of vaguely remember like them doing battle with Moff Gideon and stuff, but I don't know anything that happened after that. So like where we left off in three, I don't know if there's stuff that happened that helps understand this. At the end of season two, Grogu goes with Luke Skywalker, right?
I,
Is that
I
the end of season two?
I thought that was the end of season 3, and then
No,
he
because season
comes.
three they just defeat uh, uh, Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon.
Okay.
They go back to Mandalore, and the
Okay.
Dark
Oh yeah,
Saber's
yeah, yeah.
destroyed.
Okay. No. What
Bo-Katan's
happened?
there,
He does go with Luke,
but
and
then
then
why does he come back?
it's either in Ahsoka or maybe it is in the Book of Boba Fett one. They're like, nah, he's got to go back with the Mandalorian. That's his people now, and then he's just back with them.
Okay,
Yeah. So if you don't watch that episode, it's like, what the fuck? I thought he was gone, but
yeah,
nope. I guess he's just back.
okay. Anyway, but I went in this movie like not expecting to care about it much, and I'll say that when I left, I also like don't necessarily care about it that much. That being said, I would say that I did somewhat enjoy it, but I have I think there's a lot of good in this, but I also don't care about it. And that's the main problem with this movie. It's just like I just don't care about any of it.
Yeah.
But I think the opening scene is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the first 10 minutes of this movie of just Mando kicking ass, taking down three AT-ATs. I think there's some fun camera work and some good action in that
Sure.
opening. Just a really strong way to start the movie. So like from the get go, I was like, okay, I'm kind of into it right now.
Yeah.
And I liked I at first kind of was into the idea of like, oh, like seeing the huts and how they function, and him going on this quest to get this buff kind of hot like Jabba the Hutt, but which was like jarring when I found out that was Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
I was like, because it could have
Why?
been
Anyone?
anybody,
Yeah.
and that's not a knock on Jeremy Allen White. It's
No.
just like, why'd you have him?
Yeah, you fucked with his voice so much to make him more hut like.
Yeah, like once I knew it was him, I was like, okay, I can kind of hear
Yeah.
it, but what you could have gotten any voice
Yeah.
actor to do this and saved yourself money. I
They needed
assumed.
him for the mocap, and they needed a buff dude. So
I guess, but whatever. I think there is some good camera work in this in terms of like shot composition. John Favreau, I think, does shoot movies pretty well. Um, like there's some stuff in the dragon serpent pit that I think looks
Mm.
really good. I think
but
there's
also some stuff that looks awful.
I think there's some solid production design, and I think the music's pretty decent in
Music
this.
is the best thing about
Yeah,
this.
I think there is a lot of good stuff. Anytime there was action set pieces, I was never like disinterested. But as I've said many times, and will continue to say, I'm a character guy,
Mm-hmm.
and neither Grogu nor the or the Mando change or grow in any way. This
No.
is a mission that
Yep.
they start and complete,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like it doesn't have, at least doesn't seem to have any grander effect on the overall like war against the Empire. Like, yeah, you took
Uh-huh.
down the Hutt Syndicate, and you gave a black eye to like the former Empire because you're like taking out uh, people who are associated with them. But
Hmm.
like we have no sense of that stakes
Yeah.
really because we have no sense of what's going on in the world. And I guess you could argue, well, you get that in other shows or whatever,
But you
maybe.
don't.
But
Like,
okay, that's why I'm asking you.
because there's a bit in Ahsoka where um, General Thrawn, blue
Yeah,
face
yeah,
guy, he is like so far away he can't get back to the galaxy. Like you need these intergalactic space whales to get out of there. So he's never coming back. But they have to go and save their friend and end up pretty much releasing him to be able to come back, and now they're stuck there. It's like the dumbest decision ever. It's like, I'm going to save you, but I'm going to doom the entire galaxy. It's ridiculous. And I always thought, oh, okay, so when we continue this, this will be how we see how the Second Order gets started.
yeah,
Because in between episode 6 and episode 7, it just goes, yeah, there's a new empire. They're called the New, or the Second Order, New Order, whatever it is.
yeah,
They're here, and it's another empire. Wow, aren't we creative? And like, okay, maybe we'll get more of that in Ahsoka season 2. That's my pitch. And for this, you would think, oh, we couldn't get this one guy, or we did get this one guy, so someone else was able to rise in power, and we get to see hints of the Second Order, anything like that. But it's not. There's no bigger world building to this except that it's a couple years after Return of the Jedi, which so many things are just set right after Return of the Jedi. And if you watch the commercials, they talk about Grogu like he can change this universe forever. Like this mythical creature, he has a destiny, and he doesn't do anything. He's just a cute little thing
yeah,
to walk around with other cute little things.
yeah. I mean, obviously, with a show, you have more time to build a relationship and all that stuff, and I think that stuff has worked on the show and has been like, oh well, season one is, will he learn to care about this little guy?
Yeah.
And then he does it at the end. It's more than just a mission. And then season two, it's like, well, how do I like care for this thing now that's into my thing? And
Mm-hmm.
then season three just ends with like, well, now he's my son.
Yeah.
And so like, okay, so now they are a family unit. Like Rada the Hutt calls him, like, watch out, like, take care of your dad for me, like that kind
Mm-hmm.
of stuff. Like, they are father and son 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so what does that mean for their relationship in this movie? Uh, does he feel failure as a father because he can't protect him? Or, like, is Yoda acting out? How does he, like, parent properly to, like, just curb certain behaviors?
Yeah.
But it's none of that because they're, like, already either a perfect unit or it's like not interested in those questions anymore.
Yeah.
And then Grogu has always kind of infuriated me in terms of like, well, they call him like season one, he was just like the child because he didn't
Mm-hmm.
have a name yet, and but he's 50 years old, and obviously like that's just that aliens thing and how they age, and that's fine. It takes a while for him to
Sure.
get to like Yoda size, but it always kind of battling with like, is he a toddler or is he an adult? Because
Yeah.
it's like he doesn't understand the concept of like, hey, put on your seatbelt, buddy,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and he's like always eating like any little grubby thing
Pushing every button he
yeah,
can.
and then like doesn't understand how anything functions, but he also understands like big concepts like whenever they're in danger and like can do these amazing things. Like he can like really lock in when he needs to be,
Yeah.
which it's just I don't understand Grogu as like a character really, other than like yeah he's cute and he has powers, but like who is he?
He is nothing. He is
And then,
merchandise. That's what Grogu
right.
is.
I need Grogu to like, and he like kind of speaks in this. Like he starts making voice sounds.
Yeah. He's got more gurgly sounds than he's ever had before.
Yeah.
But I swore, I was like, by the end of this, he's going to say daddy
Or something.
or Mando,
Because
something.
we even have like the alien like Fraggle Rock characters who
Yeah,
you start
Bob
hearing
and Fricks.
who you start hearing like little bits of English from
Yeah,
them. It's just
but that's their thing. It's just like, stupid baby.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. And then we have the Huts who we've only ever heard of like the Busa Muga Hidoa. And now it's just like, oh well, now we have Jeremy Allen White talking full English.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're gonna finally like
Well, I mean,
Mando's.
the other ones speak English too.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I just took that as like he's understanding their alien language,
Oh,
not them
okay.
speaking English.
Sure.
And maybe they are speaking like the galactic common tongue or
Yeah.
whatever. But I just took it as like
Probably.
this is for the
Yeah.
audience where
Yeah.
we don't have to read subtitles.
These little kids, they can't read, so let's not
But
subtitle it.
yeah, so I need Grogu to like. I need him to do the. Yes. I need him to do the group thing of just like he's a teenager now.
Yeah, we
And
need the jump.
he's a little bit bigger and he can like talk. Like we've had 5 years now to sell Grogu toys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's sell Grogroon. Nope, that didn't work.
Grown grew.
There it is. We got it. Give me that because I need Mando to not. He can still be a dad, but he's a dad whose son is his also partner.
Yeah.
Versus just like a little backpack that sometimes lift things.
Yeah. I know they've always said like we're not going to do the history of Yoda and where they come from.
I don't care.
We're not going to name their species. It's like, okay, but we need to do something. And maybe there's like they're flying around in their ship and he goes back to check on him and now he's cocooned and he's in a little ball and it's like, Grogu, are you okay? And then he has to leave it alone. He has to do some missions on his own. Then Grogu comes out, and he's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And he's
Hello,
a little
Father. I have returned.
And I think they're just afraid of, do we make him speak like Yoda? Is that how they all speak? Because there's been like fan theories that Yoda talks like that because the Jedi talked like that 800 years ago. And he never dropped it. Everybody kind of evolved with the more and more planets being found. That dialogue changed, but Yoda always has stuck like that. So I think they're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, oh, he doesn't talk like Yoda. That's stupid. You only did that, so we could understand him better. And if you do that, it's like, oh God, you're just cashing in on this one thing about Yoda. Why can't you do something new? Like. So that's why they go perpetual baby. Yep, he's 50 years old. We don't know how long it takes until he grows. But even if you don't want him to talk, you could at least like mature him up a little bit. Just make him a little bit taller. Get rid of that damn coat. And like I've said before, show me his little body. What does he look like under there? Is he like, does he got the fat baby sort of pouch? Or has he got little like baby abs or something? Like, I need to see what he looks like. Because he could be a bunch of tentacles under there. You don't really see his feet all that often.
Especially like with, and cutting away from the body stuff, especially with like the Force, like we've established that they're like they speak with ghosts and like there is some element of sort of like telekinesis kind of like thing. Even if you don't telepathy, thank you. Even if you don't make Grogu speak to you directly, like he can go into your mind and then you can like go, well, we're not going to have him speak because maybe he would sound like you, but in your mind it would just sound like perfect English because you're understanding him on a mental level, not a dialect level. Yeah,
Mando should just look down and you hear a little and he goes, yeah, you're right. We should go around the back.
I mean, you've been doing it for 50 years with R2-D2.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, like, why is it that fucking hard?
Yeah, or Chewbacca.
Or Chewbacca, like, I just need Grogu to be a character, and, like, I think we've had some interesting stuff with Mando, because he's grown from, like, I mean, he's just the same stoic guy as kind of always, but he went from stoic loner guy to stoic dad guy now.
Yeah.
But, like, we need to have him... We like have a love interest that maybe like challenges him. And
I think there was an episode where he was it was like the first Bryce Dallas Howard episode when he like takes off his mask to eat and there was like someone had an ATST attacking the village. She directed an episode.
Oh, okay.
I think there was a woman there that it was just like, oh, maybe I could give this all away. But I get what you're saying.
Like he needs some other person to bounce off.
He needs Rhoda the Hutt, but he's just too big to go on bounty hunter missions.
And too expensive to just put in everything. Yeah. So he needs, and I thought maybe, not that I want Bo-Katan to be a love interest. I mean, I understand why she came back, and I understand why, as someone who never saw...
Why can't they just be friends?
No, 100%. I'm just saying, like, you could have easily gone that route, and I'm glad that they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Mando either needs some kind of other
Sexy alien lady.
some
A
relationship,
Twi'lek.
or I'd like to see maybe if it's one episode or like a season long thing of like maybe Mando gets a job to go after this guy. He is a former Mandalorian who has also raised a different alien, not a Yoda or
Mm-hmm.
a whatever fucking their race is called. I forget.
We don't know.
But he here's another Mandalorian who has taught another race
Mm-hmm.
the way of the Mandalorian, and like he's got Beskar armor, and it's like, oh, so other people have done this before, because it might be interesting for him to like run into another person and maybe make a fucking friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess Zeb or whatever from
Oh, the weird bat guy
yeah,
who just showed.
who just shows up.
He's not part of it. He's part of the animated shit, but
Yeah.
he's just part of this now.
Yeah. Which I'm sure, like, if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, you're like, oh, cool,
cool.
it's guy from Clone Wars. But, like, and me, I have not seen it. I have no fucking connection to this guy. Where did he come from? Yeah. Are they friends? Are they not friends? Are they just coworkers? Yeah. It seems like he's kind of, like, down for the cause. But what's his relationship with Grogu? Like, whatever. Anyway, we need to give Mando someone to bounce off of, to make him question things, to make him make a fucking joke or something.
That's the beauty of like, droids.
Yeah. All the jokes in this movie, none of them landed for me.
No.
And Star Wars, like, has always done a pretty solid job of, like, hey, maybe this movie's not so great, but it has a couple laughs, has a couple good action scenes, and then it's just fine. Where this movie was not funny at all.
There was one thing that made me laugh.
Okay.
When he visits the Hutts for the first time, they say, oh, you got to get our nephew, Rhoda. We haven't seen him in forever. This is our last known picture. Mm-hmm. And it's the baby version, because this is the same baby Hutt from the Clone Wars movie. The animated Clone Wars movie where Ahsoka and Anakin rescue this baby Hutt, and they call him Stinky. That's his nickname. It was like I hated Ahsoka watching that movie. That movie is so bad. It's worse than, Rise of Skywalker. It's embarrassing. It's whether you like the show or not, that movie itself is really embarrassing. And I always liked that little baby Hutt because it was silly. It's funny seeing this little tadpole guy. But when he popped up on screen, it was like they used the same CG asset at that time. And it just got me. I was not expecting it. I thought it would have been a poster because I knew he was going to be a fighting guy. And I thought it would be that. But God, it was this little tadpole Hutt. And I lost it in the theater.
Honestly, when he was walking into the lair, and it kind of just seemed like, are these just a bunch of pits where like Hutts are fucking and stuff? Like, it just seemed very like kind of gross, and just like these slug people who were just hanging out in these mud rooms and stuff. I don't know. It just seemed gross, and I kind of like dug the vibe. And I like that their like whole palace was just like made of like mushrooms and stuff. Like it wasn't like it was held together barely.
Yeah,
like I like that he just threw a grenade and like an entire like half of the place collapsed.
Yeah, I'm sure back in the day before their interstellar travel, they were just eating holes in the ground and everything to make their living. I really wanted to see them move a bit more. I know we see them in the fighting, but it's like they'd be kind of slow. I was expecting like kind of slides of mud where they're able to just kind of like really push themselves and go.
Yeah. It's like Jabba the Hutt is such an iconic sort of character.
The best. I love Jabba.
Just an interesting, like simple, but very interesting design, and seems scary. And you're like, ooh, what a cool thing to be like the leader of a galactic crime ring. And it's like, well, the Hutts have been running this stuff for a long time, and like they've run through betrayal and violence, but you never really see them do anything.
No. I wouldn't be scared.
So it was kind of cool to like actually see a buff one like kick ass. It's like, oh, I can see this guy being kind of a fucking tank.
Yeah, but they're usually gluttonous fat slug people. And
it's like how did they come into fucking power?
They just got the most money.
On the ground.
Yeah. But let's talk about Rhoda the Hutt. I hated him. He's all we've heard is like big fat, deep Jabba voice. And those twins, they do show up in Book of Boba Fett at one point. And it's like, I like that. I don't want to see one with abs. I don't want to see one.
It was kind of jarring.
And his face is so... Like, the twins look great. I think they look awesome. Jeremy Allen White does not look like a good his his mouth, everything like the special effects for most things in this movie look pretty good, except him. I thought he looked really bad. I think his design is too accurate to his baby version. You
Mm.
know, they could have grown him up, but it was that mouth. I know they don't really have a neck, but it was like your mouth connects to your shoulder blades. I don't know. I think it was really ugly. And in his fighting pit thing, I hated all those creatures. There was one like kind of gross white one with like crabby hands. I thought
Hmm.
was kind of cool, but all of them were so dumb.
I have a question for you.
Yes, I know what you're gonna ask. Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
Well, what are we gonna
are they
ask?
the chessboard people?
That was what I was
They
gonna
are
ask.
exactly the
Okay.
chessboard
Because
people.
I didn't clock it until the one picked up the one and dropped it. I was like,
Yeah,
was that the fucking chess
yeah,
thing? Jesus Christ, I'm a nerd.
and it's like that's a fun Easter egg,
Sure.
and maybe like you always use they gave it a name, and like do you always use these species when you're doing this fight? Is that fight just a barrage of different species? Is the game that they play based off of this? Is it just a not like
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. And are they monsters? Because you can't tell in a Star Wars world like what's a monster and what's just like a civilized thing. Because once
Yeah.
they hit the road, they go out into the city. It's like a rampaging bear attack or something.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell because there are other things that also look like monsters that are just people, quote
Mhm.
unquote. Um,
If it can speak a language, I guess it's a
I
people.
guess
If it just growls, then no.
Chewbacca just growls, but he's a
But he
person.
growls with style,
Oh,
and he
okay,
carries a
okay.
gun.
That must be it.
Like he can use a computer. Like, are these
Hmm.
monsters going to be able to be like, they do their rampage and they fight and be like, all right, time to do my 9 to 5, and they go, and
So after like they they do the gladiator fight and he sets him free, he takes him back to the rebel world. The scene of Road to the Hut playing in the water with Grogu was so funny.
yeah.
Just them splashing around. It's like that's what you want Mando doing, but he's too cool to splash around in the surf with his little son. So he lets a
You
big
know what? Yeah, that's my pitch for the next Mando movie. Just Mando and Grogu on vacation,
on
like
vacation,
having a good time.
making a little sandcastle. Him eating the little bugs out of the sand.
Yep.
Yeah,
No danger whatsoever.
what's
The biggest concern is like, what are we gonna eat for breakfast
yeah.
today?
Mando he's wearing like swim trunks, but he keeps the helmet
Of
on.
course, yeah.
But yeah, seeing them splash around was really funny. I love watching Grogu walk. I love that they use a puppet or CG to make it look like a puppet. When him and the other little guys are just like wiggling by the camera as they're walking, it's so funny. I love all that. But then
They're
there's just
both silly, but both like it still works.
yeah, because it makes you think there's a physical thing
Yes.
there, and it's like yes, we know when he jumps onto his back, that's a CG double. That's fine. But then you cut to Road to the Hut, and like, oh my god, that's not a puppet at all. They didn't build a goddamn thing with that thing. Um, but then we get back to the Hutt's planet, and he has to fight which the most uncreative creature name, a dragon snake. Come on. Come on. That of anything
I will say, I like the look of it.
he's cool looking.
Definitely cool.
It's a nasty looking tapewormy alligator head thing. Really cool. But then there's other little guys in the water and like he finds a weapon and he kills them, but it was hard to tell what he was doing because it
Yeah.
kept shooting underneath that big dragon thing. Cool. Once he gets bit and then they blow the little hole for him to get out, that's when the movie falls off a cliff.
I 100% agree.
We are just hanging out in the woods. Grogu's taking care of him. I like seeing him do that. Look, he's not just an
But
idiot.
it's one of the it's one of the things I'm talking about. It's like, okay, so Mando's in danger, and now he goes, well, I have to be an adult now,
Yeah.
and I am capable of like gathering things and healing,
Mhm.
and building a my own little like mini, like it's a whole thing of. It just seems like, how do we get Baby Yoda to do a Dagobah? It's like we put him on a swamp planet, and you make him
Uh-huh.
build a house. It's
Yeah.
like you see him like meditating in the woods and stuff, and I just like it's one of those things like, oh look, we're doing the thing that we did before that you guys liked, but
Mhm.
I just
But it slows everything down. And like this movie, you can feel where the episodes are.
Mhm.
You know exactly where you would cut. Like, oh, Mando brings back in the bounty coin, I think his
Coin, yeah.
name, and then says, I'm going to take a break, goes back to his house, gets taken by the other bounty hunter. That's the end of that
Mm-hmm.
episode. And then the Grogu in the forest healing him, that's an episode. Like, these are 5 episodes put together. And that other bounty hunter, it's such a shame because in Book of Boba Fett, there is a character called Cad Bane. He's also
This is
from
the
the
Western
animated.
guy,
He's
right?
the
Yeah.
Western guy with the blue face and
Yep.
the red eyes, cool voice, really fun character. And he has a hat just like this guy.
I thought it was him
They
at
kill
first
him
from.
in Book of Boba Fett. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, why would you do that? Like,
Well, it's
it was a
clear this one's like
waste.
Ninja Samurai inspired, where
Yeah.
he was like gunslinger.
Yes.
But I, in the dark, I was like, oh, it's the same guy.
Isn't he a robot? Isn't that one in this movie a robot, or
I
was
think,
he an alien? He didn't speak at all.
yeah, I think he was an alien enhanced with robotic
Okay.
parts.
But this
Because I
would have
thought like
been.
his head was alien,
It
but he
felt.
had like a metal like mouth,
Yeah.
and then his like arms and
Limbs.
stuff, like his limbs might have had robot pieces.
Like this felt like a perfect time to give Mando a villain.
Yep.
Someone that has maybe been tracking him through this entire thing. He just kind of shows up, drops him off. I don't even remember how he gets killed. He's
Mando, I think just he shoots him and then he falls into the pit with the twins.
okay.
But he was already dead when he fell into the
Sure,
pit.
sure. What happened to his dog? Did they show?
His dog, I think, jumped on like I want to say that the dog might have been on the platform when it went down
Okay.
because Grogu like calmed him and was like petting him, and then I think something was happening that sort of like woke the dog back up, and the dog like went towards the bounty hunter guy, and then I think they all just fell into the pit.
Okay.
I could be wrong. But
Okay. Um, but like, here's a chance to.
that's the guy. That's gonna be the guy who's the villain for season 4. I was saying like I thought like that's what would be the setup.
He
like,
he would be. He's
the-
constantly following Mando. He arrives everywhere too late. I don't know who he is doing this job for, but
Yeah.
he should be his adversary. And then you have the dog versus Grogu. I don't know if that's a good team up. Maybe instead
you
of
kill
a
that
dog.
dog in this movie.
Sure, that's fine.
But like Mando defeats this guy, he gets shot in the shoulder or his arm falls off or whatever, and he's like, I'll get you next time, Mando, and then he disappears. And then you roll credits, and then you have a mid-credit sequence where that guy is back, he's got a new arm, and then he's like, Maul, I didn't get him this time, but I'm still working on it.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, that guy it will be in the future.
Yeah.
But he's just killed off in this.
You really could have saved a lot of time on this. Like, after Mando goes down and is fighting, Grogu saves him, brings him back immediately. Maybe he's still bit or whatever. Then you have the fight, the twins fall in and die, and then you're done. You could cut out like 40 minutes of this movie if you really wanted to, if you wanted to tighten it up.
When I saw this was 212, I was like, I know this doesn't need to be 212.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
This is 145.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the twins just get like swallowed instantly by that monster and
Oh wait, no, the Ninja Samurai guy does live, and the dog does too.
does he?
Yeah, they all fall in, and then the snake, the dragon snake pops up, and they're like, "Save me, bounty hunter!"
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, "Nope," and then they leave together.
Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they kept
Okay, so he is going to be in
he's
season
gonna
4.
if they even make another season.
Yeah.
And then let's not forget of the other human. Like, no one's a human in this except for Coin and Dave Filoni sitting at the bar. Did you notice Dave Filoni?
I didn't.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, all of pretty much the
anyone
new order,
flying a plane, yeah, but
is
like
a human.
who has like dialogue is Sigourney Weaver, who is. Why is she in this? I know you need someone to pass out the information.
She's like the sci-fi chick.
I know, but everyone is so bored in this movie. Mando, he's very stoic. I get it, but he never is happy. He's never sad. He's never worried. He's never angry. He is just monotone all the time. Hey, kid, get out of here. Ugh. He's so
It's pretty good Harrison Ford.
And then Sigourney Weaver is also extremely bored through this whole thing. And I thought she was going to be a secret villain Because she
Mm.
was like, "You're really pissed off the Huts. We were kind of working with them in order to do a thing, and I thought there was going to be a twist of like, yeah, you're really fucked up. I'm actually working with the Huts. Fuck this rebellion. I thought it'd be
Mm.
something, but that would have been a character,
Yeah.
and you can't have that. She is just lady.
Yeah. No one is a character in this movie. And yeah, there needs to be something. Because there's what is it? Is it there's a story but no plot, or there's plot but no story? I don't know which would be more
There's a
accurate.
plot, no story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the plot is to go to A to point B to point C and finish off, but there's no story of why they're doing it, except they're just going on missions. And as a show, Mando going on bounty hunter missions is a perfect show. That's
Yeah,
great. That's an episodic thing that
yeah.
doesn't need to connect to everything, but a movie needs a story.
Hmm. Agreed. So I think me going in mostly blind and not particularly caring helped me enjoy this movie more. Um, but I still recognize that it's something I will never watch again. I won't say to anybody like you got to go see it.
Yeah.
So this is a C minus for me. It's not unwatchable, uh, but it does. If you want to lean into the whole corporate content thing, it does feel like, hey, who cares about what it's about? Put a movie together, slap the Star Wars logo on
Mm-hmm.
there. We're gonna make money, baby.
Yeah.
We gotta feed the machine. That's just what this movie feels like. Uh,
And it makes me sad because I know Dave Filoni is now in charge of the Star Wars universe.
yeah,
There's no
he's the
more.
James Gunn of
He's not. There's
Star
no more
Wars.
Catherine Kennedy. It's now Dave Filoni, and he loves his shit so much more than I think he loves the rest of Star. Like he loves Star
Of
Wars. He
course,
knows everything
of
about Star Wars,
course.
but he loves his characters more than anybody
And
else.
to his credit, I would say that there is an argument to be made that like his shit up until this point was some of the best shit in Star Wars
Sure,
for a lot of people.
for a lot of people. I don't know. Apparently, Bad Batch is great. Rebels is great. I tried to watch Clone Wars. I only got to about season 3, maybe even 4, and it was like I can't put up with this shit. And maybe it gets better at season 5. Who knows? But I just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
It was a chore.
I have no, I've never seen any of it, so I have no connection to it. Like I know Thrawn is
Mm-hmm.
like a big
He's a guy.
deal,
Yeah.
but like
Maul
I've never
comes
seen a
back.
single thing with Thrawn in it.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. It maybe this world is just too big, and I
It's the biggest, smallest world. It
yeah.
has a gajillion planets and races and robots and everything. But if you don't put it in a lightsaber, people go, "That's not Star Wars. Where's the AT-ATs? Where's my, Death Star?" Like if you're not putting in the familiar thing, it people will reject it. It's like it's so, how was it put? It's so creatively bankrupt.
Yeah.
It You can do anything with it, and they refuse to do most things with it.
Yeah.
It's got
Because
to be the same thing.
you watch Book of Boba Fett,
Yeah.
and I didn't see any of it.
Hmm.
So, like, if you told me, oh, I'm making a show from Boba Fett's perspective where it's just like Boba Fett running a criminal empire in the Star Wars universe that has nothing to do with the Empire or the New Order or whatever. No Jedi's. Does it do all that, or is it like it still involves all those pieces, and
It
then it's less focused like now it's not necessarily its own thing, or is it like it is its own thing? It's just not written well.
it's There's a lot of bad shit. Like Sophie Thatcher's if you didn't know, and she's part of a gang of like hot rod motorcycle kids, and they drive these like bright blue, yellow, and red motorcycles, and it looks out of place. It's just one of those weird things. Doesn't need to be
They're more
there.
kind of like Tron bikes.
They're not as cool as looking as that,
Okay,
but they are like take a Star Wars speeder and put some cool chrome on it. It's
got
like
it.
bright red chrome. Um, so the main thing of Book of Boba Fett is he crawls out of the Sarlacc pit
Yep.
and he's half dead. He gets taken in by the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders, and he learns from them. He learns their culture, and he kind of like kind of gets over his evil ways, but he realizes since Jabba's dead, he's gonna take over the criminal empire, but he's gonna do it for good. Like, I mean, he's not doing it to do more criminal stuff. He's doing it to stop the spice trade because the spice runners they kill the Tusken Raiders and they're killing the people on Tatooine. And so, like, if I take over this, we can do it right. And then the Hutts are like, you can't take this over. This is our shit. Let's hire Cad Bane to take him out. He also has Ming Na Wen is his partner.
Okay,
Uh,
well, that sounds like somewhat
it
interesting.
sounds interesting, but it just isn't.
Okay.
It's
Now, is that because it's not?
I don't think it's what people wanted for Boba Fett. They didn't
Yeah.
want him. Like you could have a redemption thing, but like I don't know.
Like,
I
is
don't.
he like a morally gray character
No,
that
he's more
like
of a good guy now.
just more of a good?
He's
Yeah.
just
Okay.
like he's the cool action figure that everybody loves. We can't make him a bad guy anymore, and we already have our bounty hunter Mandalorian. So let's do something else with him. And what they decide is not very interesting. And it all takes place on Tatooine, so it's so boring,
Yeah.
so ugly. And Matt Berry is the droid in it. He has a great voice, and he's one of the ugliest, stupid droids I've ever seen. There's just so much I don't like about it. There's always these glimmers of ooh, and then something
Maybe
else
one of
that's
the problems with
terrible.
Star Wars is because it's so sort of vast. Like everyone has an idea of like what they think
What they
would be
want,
cool,
yeah,
and it's just impossible because like with infinite possibilities, there's like no
yeah.
possibilities, or like
You're
you're reliant on safe
yeah,
choices, which then becomes
yeah.
boring. I don't know.
Oh well, if we're on Tatooine, we gotta have the huts, and we gotta talk about the Sarlacc pit, and we gotta, it's like you have to do it, otherwise, you're gonna piss the fans off.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when Mando first came out, and it was kind of like, oh, it's a western in space, and like you said it on Tatooine, it has the desert vibe and the
Uh-huh.
saloons, like that makes sense.
But at least
But
he went to other
but you
planets.
went to other planets, yeah. Like it's like looking at just sand and desert all day. It it's kind of boring. Like
It is.
Dune films are incredible to look at,
Mm-hmm.
but also kind of like you're just mostly looking at sand the whole time.
Yeah.
But you have one of the world's best directors doing it, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have also like
Mm-hmm.
interesting shots of like uh, architecture and spaceships, and there's
Mm-hmm.
like interesting things that he does with the camera
Yeah.
where like it kind of elevates that a little bit, but you are still looking at sand most of the
Yeah.
time.
I
So
would say, hey, you should just throw on Book of Boba Fett just to see what it's like. But no, you still have Andor to watch. One day, Steve, you're gonna just need to watch Andor. You're gonna just have to lock in and watch these episodes.
or never mind.
All right, anything else? All in
uh,
all, boo, bad. One of my least favorite Star Wars movies. I will apologize. Maybe I was harder on Rogue One or Rise of Skywalker. They are more watchable than this, um, but still, I'm still putting those like this is definitely bottom five Star Wars properties.
yeah, even though I don't know if I've ever like hated a Star Wars movie or just downright disliked a Star Wars movie. This would probably be at the bottom of the list for me, just like from the jump. Uh, but that being said, once again, like I think it is certainly watchable, but does it justify its existence? Not in
No,
the
yeah,
slightest. Like the other ones, you can make an argument for, like
sure.
especially like the nine in the saga,
Hmm.
and like Rogue One. I like Rogue One. Solo. I don't remember if that really needs to exist, but like
That's one that absolutely does not need to exist and is the most entertaining, I think, out of
I
all the
remember
Disney
having a good time.
acquired
Yeah.
Star Wars movies. I mean, Force Awakens is pretty good. That's a pretty good movie, but Solo is pretty awesome. I'd say of the top five Star Wars movies,
Hmm.
Solo's in there.
So yeah, um, if this is the worst thing they've made, like there's other franchises that like have higher highs but lower lows.
Look at all the Marvel stuff.
I don't think there's. I would put Mando over, yes, probably some Marvel. There's some Marvel stuff I haven't seen because I don't care enough to go
Yeah.
see it. And the main reason I saw this movie was just because it was the one available to
Yeah.
me. I would
It
have
would have been Obsession.
It would have been Obsession, but yeah, I'd say it's probably like bottom of the list in terms of movies, just because yeah, it's just boring and feels like it should have just been 4 episodes of a TV show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a shame because like I wanted it. I wanted this to work. I want to be proven wrong. I want to go to
Yeah.
a Star Wars movie and be like, holy shit,
Yeah.
I love Star
They
Wars.
reinvented
Holy
it.
shit, I love a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But
And that,
haven't got any of that in a while.
no.
And it just reinforces on why I don't waste my time with Andor and other Star Wars stuff.
You would love Andor. Andor is a quality show. That is
Hey,
like
there,
the good one.
season 1 of Andor, there's some really good stuff. I have no problem admitting, like, there's, it didn't blow me away. Like, you made it sound like it was going to, but there is definitely some good stuff in Andor season 1.
Yeah.
And I like Rogue One, and you hate Rogue One. And I'm sure season 2 of Andor, there's some stuff I'll be like, wow, that's really interesting and really cool. And I'm sure there's going to be some stuff where, like, I don't care about that at fucking all.
Yeah. I mean, like, hey, Rogue One is just a good-looking Star Wars movie. It's just
We're not
going to
have this
story.
fight again.
It's just not a good story. All right, let's wrap it up. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Next week, hopefully Obsession and Backrooms.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll see. I think something is coming back that we watch. I'm not sure. But anywho, next week, double feature, potentially, at least one of the two. But if you want to get in contact with us, we are at WRPLpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. As always, I'm Ben.
And I'm Steve.
And keep consuming.